Live streaming. Good morning.
Good morning.
It's a very cold morning. They say it's minus 25.
And that's not even with the wind chill.
Of course. We hit the wind chill. So with
You hate the wind chill.
minus 25, but it feels like
I don't know.
3 million minus degrees.
I don't know because I don't plan on going outside.
Hey, look at us. Hope is famous.
Mm-hmm.
Where'd that come from? Where'd the slogan come from? What does it even mean? What do our slogans mean? Like, I feel like we have like apparel that we represent of like AA slogans. We have all the slogans. Live and let live.
We don't.
Hope is famous.
What?
I feel like our slogans, we have our own slogans compared to the AA slogans. But the hope is famous is that the hope that we have, we get to pass that on and on and on and on. And we have a message of recovery that we can have a relationship with God that will solve all of our problems, and we get to pass that on. Whoa! Anything to report?
No.
Anything to say? Coffee kicking in yet?
No.
No. All right. We'll get right into our reading. It is January the 11th. Do you want to read our reading? Yeah, you read it. It's too long.
Is that what you decided?
I'm like, oh man,
you looked at it and you were like, no,
that's a full page.
Is it only okay? Yeah. So once upon a time, there was a woman who was very unhappy. If you asked her what she was unhappy about, she would say despairingly, "Oh, just everything." And then she would go into the most excruciating detail about her sufferings, the awful things her husband did, the trouble she had with her children. A scared, lugubrious expression was etched on her face. Although she had been a pretty girl, she could see no reason for making herself look nice. And anyway, she didn't have the time. While she was looking on the dark side, communication and love between her and her family grew less and less. Even her friends avoided her, which increased her grievance against life. Everything would have been all right, of course, if only her husband would stop drinking, and she told him so every day. Once in a while, somebody would get her to an Al-Anon meeting, but somehow she had the idea that all the members were just waiting to hear her latest disaster reports. One night, a member, determined to help her if she could, put the cards on the table. She told her that everybody there had plenty of troubles, but with the help of Al-Anon and each other, they learned to stop exaggerating them. Why don't you try wearing a smile for a change and see what happens? Maybe it would even be such a jolt for your husband to see you pleasant and cheerful that he'd run to AA. And believe it or not, after a while, that's just what happened.
Man, imagine that, putting a smile on your face and being joyful, and your husband runs to AA because he's so shocked.
Wow.
What I'm hearing here, and I think that many people can relate to, is this what?
Sorry.
Miserable wives.
Anyway.
No, I was going to say, we start off at this meeting-based sobriety. And so we come in with all of our problems, and we actually think that the group is there to support our problems and listen to us. And I just like
that part of like, yeah,
projectile barf on everybody.
That part of like, she showed up at every meeting just like waiting to give her the latest disaster report, I think is so true of so many of us when we first start going to meetings.
And you know that person outside of meetings. And when you see that person, the disaster person, oh, hey, Vicky, how you doing? Oh, my God. And they just get into like, I have this problem, I have that problem, I have this, and then this happened. Yeah. And that person is living in the problem, the spiritual problem, and it's being confirmed by the world around us. And so we could start at meeting-based sobriety, where I'm going to all these meetings for pain relief. But the reality is that's not where the solution is. The solution is in the recovery process, in the steps. And so I want to have step-based recovery and not meeting-based recovery. But I think it's a culture that we've probably all been familiar of, is when you go to these meetings, you hear about people's addiction and not their recovery. You're like, oh yeah, wow, that's heavy. That happened to me. And then you have this sigh of relief of like, okay, that was really good. All right, see you next week, maybe. And they're actually living in the problem and not living in the solution. So we got to go from And I like how the one lady said, I put all my cards on the table.
Yeah.
Like, what does that actually
Well, so
mean?
that would mean that you don't just show up at meetings or the occasional meeting or just go to meetings, but you're actually working the steps.
So it's like, look, lady.
And so you actually need to work the steps.
Yeah.
There's things in the steps that, like, you could even say, well, oh, I'm working the steps, but you're not actually doing the work. And then you can finish the steps, but not actually continue doing step 10, 11, 12, which are like every day, continuous every day. And so lots of people finish and then put the book aside.
Yeah. And even in the big book, there's no like set meetings. There's no set sponsor. Like those words aren't there because it was just created. So I'm inviting people into my recovery. And so the common solution is our recoveries. And so I'm bringing people into the steps and doing the inventory and they're I'm not their recovery, but we share our recovery. And so now I'm moving from this meeting based recovery into real recovery and into conscious contact with God. So that's, yeah, I think that's what I get out of the reading, is not to have pain relief, but go from the problem inside of me to the solution. And I can start by going to a couple of meetings, but I got to get into the work. And so it's not about feeling better. It's about getting better. It's about being better. Yeah.
So what does that look like for you to have conscious contact with God today?
Today, we already did a little meditation, but I know that I woke up at 2 a.m. So my day, unfortunately, felt like it started at 2 a.m. And I was like, why am I, like, because it's happened a couple times in the last 2 weeks. And we have some announcements coming. But I think that I have anxiety a little bit and insecurity. And I'm waking up at 2 a.m. and I can choose either to play and roll around with the things that may have woken me up, or I can start meditating on. There's a few people that I'm in the inventory process with, so I start doing inventory in my head, and then I start planning of where this person is that I'm helping and where that person is, and I'm starting to turn my thinking into how can I be of use and maximum service to God and his children tomorrow. And then by the time I looked at my clock and it was 3:30.
Oh, that's awful.
And then I heard the alarm clock go off to work out. And I was like, it's leg day today.
Not happening.
And I'm feeling, if I wanted to be honest, I would say I'm feeling sorry for myself.
You're feeling sorry for yourself?
Because I didn't get the exact number of hours that I wanted to sleep. So then I didn't work out. I was like, yeah, it's just leg day. Like, you can miss leg day, can't you? And I think that I'm not striving for perfection, but yeah, today was an early morning. I didn't do what I wanted to do because anxiety woke me up or tension woke me up at 2 a.m. So that's when I need to start applying the solution. I don't sit in it and play with it. And so I feel good now and have to go through it the day. But I think the problem will arise every day. And so if I'm not staying close to God, the steps help me get to God, but my job is to stay close to God. So if I'm not staying close to God on a daily basis, then I'm going to get right back into the problem.
Thanks for sharing.
Hey guys, thanks for joining us. It is Tuesday. It is it? It is a Tuesday. It's Tuesday. It's leg day. All right,
Is every Tuesday leg day?
Yeah, that's how I play my gym game.
I see.
Like Monday, I start off with arm day. Just to, like it, I find
Because
arm
that's your
day.
favorite day.
It is. It's
Okay.
easier. Anyway, I have my own the theology around this, but yeah, I start that way, and then go into the hardest one, which is legs for me. Sometimes Tuesday is.
I wondered why you always miss Tuesdays.
Oh, owie!
Just kidding.
Ouchie!
It's not true.
All right, keep the peace, be of good behavior, and wash your hands. And we'll see you tomorrow. Bye.